What's up, weirdos? My head is throbbing, but I'm here anyways. It's Jay Kraft, your last chance to take Tylenol before your head explodes. Man, it's fucking just change in seasons, I guess. The up and downs of the temperatures and everything just has me feeling like shit this weekend, and I almost called the whole thing off or kicked the can down the road for a couple of days to figure out what I was going to do for the next podcast, and because I had some plans, but a lot of it involves a lot of reading. I gotta be honest, I'm squinting so much that I can barely see anything, so still gonna have to do a little bit of reading for this one, so I just did what I've done in the past when I've been a little bit too sick to go to my prepared material, and that is the AI producer. The AI producer is back. We should give him a name, I would think, but I decided to, once upon a time ago, talk to my ChatGPT assistant all about what my podcast is and what I want to accomplish with Universe of Weirdos and the topics I would like to discuss on Universe of Weirdos and the kind of general vibe that I want from the podcast. And then I started asking it to suggest topics for me to discuss on the show. And the first few times it was kind of generic. I think I've done 2 of them so far, and I just put in my prompt for this one, which is, please give me 30 minutes worth of talking points that I can cover on my podcast, Universe of Weirdos. And we're going to see what it came up with, because I haven't read it yet. So let's get into it. Let's see here. Let me just bring up my old assistant. Okay, so here's a 30-minute segment plan for your podcast, Universe of Weirdos, broken into quick, punchy topics that fit your bizarre/strange history vibe. All right, let's go for it. Number 1 that they suggested is the day molasses destroyed Boston. The bizarre but real disaster known as the Great Molasses Flood. Okay, let's learn about it here. So I guess a giant molasses storage tank exploded in Boston in 1919. And a 35-mile-per-hour wave of molasses rushed through the streets. People literally got trapped in sticky syrup, and Boston reportedly smelled like molasses for years afterward. That's got to be horrifying. I bet that traumatized a lot of kids in Boston at the time. A lot of people growing up probably were scared of fucking Aunt Jemima was a monster to them and shit. Like fucking... they're just scared of... I'm afraid of Canadians. I'm afraid of the world. I don't know. I think that would be pretty traumatizing, I guess. Like, wasn't there was a story a while back about like a sriracha factory or some shit like that the whole town was basically like, yo, you guys got to get this sriracha factory out of fucking town because every time we go outside, our eyes just burn from all of the fucked up spices that you guys have in the air. But yeah, that would be pretty fucked, man. Just a giant wave, a 35-mile-per-hour wave of molasses. I'd have just busted out my motherfucking surfboard, surfed the fucking surfed the syrup into the streets. I don't know. I just bring some pancakes. That would have been a delicious cleanup process, though. Lots of waffles, lots of pancakes involved. Everybody would be loving that one. Let's see. They also suggested to me here the man who tried to patent the sun. That was a thing? Someone tried to patent the sun, huh? Let's see. Augustine Mouchat in the Strange History of Solar Inventions. Let's see. Early solar pioneers in the 1800s thought sunlight could replace coal. I guess it could if we would embrace some of the old solar panels a little bit more, but let's see. Some tried to control or commercialize sunlight. Imagine trying to charge people for sunlight. I mean, we charge people for electricity. We charge people for, like, water. We charge people for garbage pickup, which is like, you're telling me if I didn't pay for garbage pickup and I put stinking, disgusting trash on the side of my road every fucking day, no one would come and remove that shit? Because I bet you they would. I bet you somebody would, but I still pay the $30 a month, which is a fucking gigantic ripoff, dude. Like, I feel like your taxes should be going to a lot of that shit. Like water, you're charging people for water. I have to pay a monthly water bill. How ridiculous is that shit? But yeah, I mean, it really isn't all that silly to me. Somebody trying to patent the sun or patent sunlight energy. Like, I mean, that's what they would do if solar panel energy was a thing, right? You'd be paying for the sunlight that you're taking in and absorbing, and then they would hide it under the guise of, well, it's from the solar panels. You're paying for the solar panels. That's how that one works. Let's see. Number 3 topic here. The CIA's psychic spy program. Dive into Stargate project. The U.S. government hired psychics to spy on Soviet Russia, the Soviet Union, I guess. Participants attempted remote viewing of secret locations. Some claimed success. Others called it nonsense. Hey, I'd make it up. Like, if they hired me, I would just make shit up. I just lay there, fucking take their government LSD or whatever they would give me, and then just like lay there and be like, I think I can see like a bunker. There's some radios in there, a couple dudes. One's named Sergey. I don't know. You can make up all of that shit. I would just make shit up. Like, of course it's not real, but I guess you do kind of have to explore that kind of stuff, right? At some point, like, you do have to go, well, let's see if mind control is actually real. Let's see if implanting false memories is actually real. Let's see if all of this weird sci-fi type of shit is actually real. Like, I feel like you have to do that at some point, right? It's dumb, and we all know that it's not gonna work. But I don't know. You gotta at least try to invent the superhero, the super soldier serum from Captain America, right? You at least have to attempt to do that shit. That's what I would just get really high and just make shit up at the CIA psychic program. I really would. And then we'd be going to like making all these weird war decisions based on just the blunt that I just smoked. That's how I would handle that one. See what else they got for me here. The man who survived 2 atomic bombs. Who was this? I've never heard of this guy before. I've heard of some weird history dudes, and I've never heard of the guy that survived 2 atomic bombs. Tsutomu Yamaguchi. All right. So he was in Hiroshima when the bomb dropped, and then he survived and went home to Nagasaki where the second bomb hit. Damn. And then he lived until 2010. So I guess that's pretty interesting. I mean, I wouldn't you kind of like expect it after that point, right? Like you'd be like, "Oh fuck, the bomb hit me." And then you go home and you're like, "Oh great, another one." And then just the rest of your life, up until 2010 when you died, he was just thinking that another one was coming. Any day, another one's dropping on me. That's the most paranoid motherfucker. Probably one of the luckiest people in history, maybe, but probably one of the most paranoid. So maybe he's the unluckiest. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Hit me up on my socials, jcraft247 on Twitter/X, or Universe of Weirdos on Instagram. You can tell me if you think Tsutomu Yamaguchi was the luckiest or unluckiest man in history. Because surviving 2 devastating things like that would put you in a mental state, for sure, for the rest of your life. I don't know. Maybe I need to learn more about this guy here, because did he appreciate his final days of his pretty long life? 2010, that's to survive those 2 atomic bombs. It's a long life to have. But man, you got to be paranoid. You got to be really paranoid every day. Let's see. The Soviet dog that almost started World War III. The story of Laika and Cold War paranoia. Early space launches caused fear of space weaponization. Some Americans believe the Soviets might drop bombs from orbit. What? Like, what's that have to do with Laika, the dog that they sent into space? Their AI producer? That one doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but yeah, I mean, Yeah, we were all about beating the Russians to space. That's why people think that we lied about the moon landing because they couldn't do it. Well, they couldn't even keep their Chernobyl fucking nuclear reactor from melting down. But then again, I guess we've had some of those pretty shitty instances in America as well. Well, let's see. I don't know. Like that would be kind of like imagine like fucking aliens on their way to Earth, and like they're passing this fucking spaceship that came from Earth, and they look in and just see a dog in there. Like the same thing with like Ham the monkey. I've always thought about that. Like imagine if like some sort of alien was on his way to Earth and just happened to pass the Earth spacecraft on its way and saw a fucking dog in there. He would be so confused. He would think that the dogs are like like they're the supreme. You know what? They might think that the dogs are the supreme species when they show up anyways, because we follow them around and pick up their shit. We wait on them hand and foot, hand them everything that they want, and we look like dog servants. They would really think that dogs and cats rule the whole world, is what they would think, but actually ruin the whole world. Like I said, that wasn't that slip of a tongue. Man, my fucking head is killing me. I hope that this is enjoyable for you guys because I am sacrificing here. I had just like that throbbing, like right in the back of your skull. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but it's pissing me off. Topic number 6, the town that banned death, which is a town called Longyearbyen. Wow, that's too many Y's and years and E's and N's. Longyearbyen. All right. People are not allowed to die there. The frozen ground preserves bodies so well that they don't decompose. Scientists found 1918 flu virus samples in buried bodies. That doesn't mean that they don't die. Those people are dead. They're just not really decaying because their bodies are frozen. It's, the same kind of concept of like cryogenically freezing a motherfucker. But that's not, they didn't ban death. It's not like, hey, you're not allowed to die or you have to pay a fucking fine. That just seems like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like it's a very good topic to bring up. But that is interesting that it is so cold and like all the permafrost and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, it just perfectly preserves bodies. I've heard about that. Like, they've dug up people that were like hundreds of years old, and it's like, dude, their body hasn't aged at all since they died. So, that's kind of cool, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about that one. Topic number 7, listener questions / weird thought experiments. Okay. What is this? What is this suggestion? For examples, try asking something bizarre. If aliens arrived and demanded Earth's weirdest human, who would we send? We would obviously have to send like a world leader is who we would have to send. I would certainly hope that it's not Donald Trump because I personally don't want to be represented by a former reality show host. So I don't know. Like we should pick somebody super crazy and super weird, but I don't know who Earth's weirdest human would be. Maybe we could send RuPaul. We could send RuPaul over there. We could send, I don't know, somebody fun. I have too much of a headache to really think about this one too hard right now. It's hurting. It's hurting to think. What historical figure would be the best podcast guest from the afterlife? I think Shakespeare would be pretty fun. Pretty fun to interview. Because you could be like, dude, what was with all of the fucking weird words that you were coming up with? Why were you just making shit up? Why didn't you just speak in language that everybody could understand? But I don't know. I think like a lot of the really old inventors, like the old brilliant motherfuckers, like Michelangelo would be really cool to talk to. Like, I don't know, Tesla would be cool. Like all of those guys. But I would also, Andy Kaufman would be an amazing podcast guest because it would be weird. That would be my dream guest of anybody who's alive or dead. Andy Kaufman would be a great, phenomenal podcast guest because it would be something weird and something different every single time he was ever a guest on anyone's show. That'd be a lot of fun. Let's see. Would you rather be abducted by aliens or interviewed by a time traveler? Wow, that's a really fucking easy answer because they probe you and cut you open and harvest your organs and stick things up your butt and all of that stuff when you get abducted by aliens. So I wouldn't want to do that. I'd get interviewed by a time traveler. I don't know what he would want to ask me. Now, is this a person from the past or the person from the future? Because they probably have a lot more answers than I have if they're going to interview me and they're from the future. Like, oh, what do you think about this? I don't know, motherfucker. What do your history books say of how it plays out? Why are you asking me dumb shit? So they'd probably have to be somebody from the past, but yeah, I'd fill them in on some stuff. I would also probably, just like the CIA thought experiments, probably fuck with them a little bit, feed them some nonsense, tell them some of that old bullshit. You guys ever done that before? When like somebody asks you for directions or something and you just intentionally point them in the wrong direction? I did that when I was a child, and now like the older that I get, I'm like, that's a dickhead move. I don't think I would ever do that to a person. But when I was a kid, I remember like that would have happened on the streets a lot in like the 90s and stuff. Like people would just stop kids on the street and go, hey, do you know where the whatever grocery store is? I'm looking for it. And you're just like, yeah, it's fucking that way. And you point in the exact opposite direction. It's always a lot of fun. I don't know. You guys want to answer any of these questions? If aliens demanded Earth's weirdest human, who would we send? What historical figure would be the best podcast guest from the afterlife? Or would you rather be abducted by aliens or interviewed by a time traveler? Hey, if you want to answer any of those questions, you let me know. planetwnba@gmail.com. Send me a good old email and let me know what you think. It also suggests that I pick a weirdo of the week. I'm going to pick Timothy Chalamet as is that how you pronounce his last name? As the weirdo of the week, because dude's like talking shit about like ballet and all these different, I would never be in that. So like, why are you talking shit about it though? Like, maybe we should just let those art forms die. Some people don't want to. Some people are into it still. So I don't know. They might have a niche audience, but at least they have some sort of audience. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to wrap this one up a little bit early, guys, because I feel like trash. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to take some more Tylenol. That's another thing. That's how I know I'm not feeling good, because I don't take pills of any kind. They fuck with my stomach too bad. And when my head is pounding like this, I'm popping Tylenol like they're Tic Tacs all day long, son. Fucking awful. Feeling like fucking god-awful warmed up turds. Like we just put shit on a plate and put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. That's how I'm feeling right now. And I apologize. I apologize for this episode. I will be back soon. I have a true crime thing planned with my wife. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's going to be fun. We're going to go over a very famous true crime case, but in a pretty unique way. So it's going to be fun. I have some more wrestling related content coming soon. I want to do a wrestling with criminals in the coming week or so, because it's Road to WrestleMania. We got to get that wrestling content out there. I have a Ron and Fez replay that I'm going to do that is actually wrestling related, that it seems appropriate to do on our Road to WrestleMania, because Fez Whatley used to like to do an impression of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and we're going to go through some of his better Nature Boy segments and go over those in a Ron and Fez replay. But aside from that, if you guys could do me a favor, I know this episode kind of sucked, but if you could give us a good 5 stars, thumbs up, positive rating, positive review on whatever podcast platform you're on, I would really appreciate that. It helps. It helps more people discover the podcast, and the podcast is growing. I see the numbers. We are getting up there in downloads and unique listeners, so we are definitely gaining some traction in the old podcast world. But like I said, if you want to find me on my socials, jcraft247 on Twitter. I am Universe of Weirdos on Instagram. You can also check out my other podcast, Planet W, a WNBA podcast where I talk about women's basketball with my brother Dan every week. And, well, The new season's starting soon, so that one's going to keep me busy over the summer. But aside from that, guys, I think I will see you next time, where I will either be doing a true crime thing or a wrestling thing or some sort of thing, but whatever it is, I promise you, I'm going to feel better. And I'm not going to have such a really shitty pounding headache. And apologies once again, but I love ya, and I will see you soon. Blasting off. See ya.